Okay, welcome everyone. It is March the 15th. Oh, it's the 15th. Okay, that's good to know. I thought it was the 16th. Okay, it's the 15th, 2024, and we are finishing up with the Sarun Chakra. Oh, I'm on the wrong slide here. Oh, I'm not organized, am I? Okay, here we go. The Sarun Chakra, and within this chakra is the universal law of transmutation and dissipation. The eighth dimension is connected, and this chakra is also called the high heart, and prudence is associated with this one. Prudence is associated with the Halion and the high heart, below the heart and above the heart. Okay, so this is the color of it. It is like sunlight energy. So you can see it's very pink and golden, sort of like sunrise or sunset. And it's all about the golden qualities of alignment, of gratitude, of acceptance. Transmutation is a golden energy. Creation is golden. The divine masculine is golden. Sunshine is golden. So think golden energy. But also, we were told about clarity with this chakra, the divine mother's clarity. So there's the balance. This is the feminine movement, flow of clarity. And then we have the golden energy of the father. So this law is called transmutation and dissipation. So when there's two qualities like transmutation and dissipation, it usually means that there's one is more masculine and one is more feminine for the balance within the law. And it's just seems to be how the Council of Love has gifted us with these laws and chakras and the whole system. It's all about balance of the masculine and the feminine. So grounding is another thing that's really important. So does anybody like wake up and do the grounding before they get out of bed? Like the anchor within the planet? Because we're learning such higher dimensional information. It's really important to make sure that we're anchored to the planet so we can stay focused and in our physical form. We're not floating up above, because we tend to float out of the form because sometimes the form can be a little bit uncomfortable. But the idea now is to be more and more deeply anchored within the form. So it's a really good idea, even before you get out of bed, to drop that root cord right down to Gaia and just say hello to her, give her the end of the cord, and then come back up. And that will keep you more focused within your physical form. Okay, so this is the whole system. Like we're learning a lot. We've learned all this information, and it does help with us being more grounded, but it also is very higher dimensional, so it can feel a bit floaty. It's just a good idea to do that grounding. But here we are, high heart, prudence, transmutation, dissipation, and then the eighth dimension, which is connected to creation and being very balanced in our self-love and self-worth. And it's about working with acceptance too. I have been practicing with acceptance. It is a really beautiful thing to say. I am acceptance of whatever you're working on. It seems to be like a neutralizing statement to make, and it helps you fall into like a very peaceful system inside. So if you find that the mind is going, or you're really ruminating over a certain thing, if you can drop down into your heart and just remember to say I am acceptance, it will neutralize what you're working on to such an extent that it can just fade right away. and I'm not really sure what, I've never really worked with acceptance like this, but it was because of what Albert Einstein said here. He said this lesson of acceptance for one's creations is an inherent component of this growth cycle. You cannot consistently create an anchor into the third reality without acceptance of this precept. And he says, the situation is often present as a flow from past lives. So karma, if you want to call it that, from other lifetimes, being attracted again in this lifetime, or the experiences you kind of know from the other side before you come in that you're going to have certain experiences because of other lifetimes. And he calls them human ego manufactured painful experiences. And he says the qualities of this growth are the understanding of unity with one and all, the ability to fully embrace and participate with God's source. So if you're ruminating over, not feeling good enough about something, or ideas to like that, this acceptance word can really help neutralize those old creations, human ego manufactured painful experiences. And then he goes on, yes, Darren.
So would you say all painful experiences are human manufactured?
Well, they're definitely not divine.
No.
So yeah, I would imagine anything that is uncomfortable generally is a human creation. Yeah. Yeah. And it's because we're still operating from the wounded child too. We attract it. Our fear attracts these experiences. So when we work with acceptance of the past, it seems to neutralize the fear, the sorrow, the anxiety. It's extraordinary. I highly recommend practicing with it. Just even saying, I am acceptance of whatever it is that's bothering you. Yeah. So then he goes on and he says, it is through embracing of this growth cycle, so the eighth dimension, that the anchoring of Nova being and the creation of Nova Earth will truly come to pass. The virtue is awe, so that's being in the magic and the wonder, in deep recognition of the wonder and unlimited potential of the universe and source. So that's another thing that I noticed when I was practicing saying I am acceptance. It brought me into a state of unlimited potential too, because I was just practicing it on the way home in the car, and it was extraordinary what happened. So I don't want to say exactly what happened because you might have a different experience. So it's just a fun thing to practice and see how you feel. So yeah, this lesson of acceptance for one's creations, an inherent component of this growth cycle. Yeah. Okay. So we just went over that. They say many shy away from this cycle because they believe it is a sin of hubris to think that they can manipulate atoms. They believe that this is the purview only of the gods. But what we're doing is we're reprogramming the thought patterns in our mind, because it's our thoughts and emotions that create these painful experiences. The thoughts and emotions that are not divine then attract the painful experiences. So we want to really piece out the mind, both sides, the masculine and the feminine, and just know you're naturally peace and joy in the mind. That's who we are. Okay. It's just the belief systems that change it up. So the mind is out here in the field, the emerald, and then the feeling field is here, the lavender, and then it comes right down into the physical form. So I did look up what causal is. Where's the causal? The blue one, way out here, and it is connected to the higher selves. Causal, the word means relating to or acting as a cause, the causal factors associated with illness. But then the causal body, I found this, it contains all our previous experiences, memories, habits, and information on all the lives we have already lived. And that's really the higher selves. Because they know everything that we've lived, all the experiences. And so that's out there. And then the mental is right there. And then the emotional is right there. And then there's the body. So that's another fun thing to do, is just clean your field. And here, I was wondering, why does the human ego manufacture painful experiences? So you could, if something happens, we could ask our higher self, which is connected to the causal body, for clarity, but we basically forgot who we are. And holding on to the past can recreate pain. But we want to get into that state where we're remembering our perfection. And then just flowing that out of ourselves. And that's what that kind of happened when I was working with acceptance. It just automatically, it flowed into lots of divine qualities. It was really interesting. Yes, Ken.
I don't know if I'm seeing this right, but so we have all this stuff that's on top of peace for ourselves and love and stuff like that. So this stuff that we're talking about is just the way of getting in the way, I guess.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It just,
Okay.
yeah. So if you can,
Hmm.
I don't even want to use the word change, because it's not who we are. It just isn't who we are. It's allowing the divine to rise
Okay.
within you. It's allowing it to come up. Does that make sense?
Sure, I'm not sure how to do it though. I don't feel like I know how to do it.
Yeah. It's you don't really put words to it. It just sort of happens. You just allow it to happen, and it rises, because you're not focusing on the old.
Okay.
It's more like anchoring in your heart and knowing that your heart is peace, love, and joy, and it rises, and all the mind stuff dissipates. This is the law, transmutation and dissipation. So the old disappears.
Cool.
But the transmutation is the acceptance of who you truly are, which is divine, and the divinity rises. It's like a cork that's floating on the ocean. You push the cork down and it just pops up. That's your divinity. You can't keep that cork down. Yes, Darren.
Yeah, I see it a little bit differently, much the same, but a slightly different angle. So that when we transmute these painful experiences, then you're brushing off the sludge and barnacles and all that. So you reveal your perfect self. You get to see it and you take the veils off it.
Yeah, that's it right there. It's just, and it just happens. It just happens when you're focusing on a quality. Like I've worked with forgiveness, and I've worked with gratitude, and that works, but it's almost like we're in a whole nother realm now. And when I started working with acceptance of everything, it just was so magical. It was so easy and it was so magical. Because I was just accepting the past for how it is. Not trying to change it or anything. Just saying, okay, I accept it how it is.
What each of those shares in common, though, Kathleen, is that each of them is a divine state, right?
Mhm.
And our problems do dissolve when we're in a divine state. So that's
Yep. But it's
there.
focusing on it though, not like really making an intention to focus on them, on the divine state.
Yes.
Mhm. So it's like getting up in the morning and grounding. So going down and talking to Gaia, that is an intention
Right.
to be divine, actually.
Yeah.
And, have a divine conversation with Gaia before you get out of bed. She'll set you on the right track for the day. Yeah. She will not let us forget that we are perfect children of the Mother, Father one.
Yes.
And in alignment, it's all about divine qualities. Yeah. Okay. So this is how SK described transmutation and dissipation at the very end of this law. He said it's renovating a house, the building, so that's transmutation, acceptance of all this old stuff. And then the dissipation is the reconstruction. So dissipation is connected to the clarity of the mother. So we're reconstructing ourselves with these with her clarity, with her divine qualities. But the transmutation is like the renovating a house. So this makes total sense because the house is like the skeletal structure of the body, is the framework, and transmutation is a framework to let go of the human ego manufactured painful experiences, really, the barnacles and the sludge. And then the dissipation is the disappearing with incredible clarity of who we truly are. So we're renovating into something new. I mean, it's really not new, but it's new for us for right now, into these divine states. Yeah, Darren.
Yeah, could you say that the renovation is creating the framework or the laws, while the dissipation part is putting in the qualities into that framework to finish off the building?
Yeah. Yep. So we're really focusing on how things work in the higher realms to renovate ourselves, renovate and reconstruct. So just think of it like a building project. You are the house.
Hopefully of light.
Yeah, filled with light, filled with lots of sunlight and water that works. The plumbing works. There's no leaks. Okay. Yeah. So this is us. We're renovating all this because everybody has this. Everybody's been tied up in knots and human ego manufactured painful experiences. And this is us being in gratitude, accepting everything. This is feeling like a victim. This is the wounded child. This is wounded and healed. Wounded and healed. That's us. So we're pretending that the physical form is like a house and we're renovating and reconstructing. So we get into the flow of the divine qualities and we're carrying the framework of the universal laws. And just know that the whole planet is like this massive healing chamber. Like all of nature is all around us, reflecting back to us our wholeness and perfection. So it's a good idea to post the mighty ones with the colors. That is a virtual healing chamber around you. And especially Gabriel in the middle with her gold, and embedded in all the colors is our healing. And then sending love. So if you ever feel like you're really out of sorts, turn it around and send love to somebody. And it'll make you feel instantly better. And I looked up what ION means, and it's an atom or molecule with a net electric charge due to the loss or gain of one or more electrons. So we're losing the old belief systems and gaining our mastery. That's the end of compassion, ION. This is pass on the love, the green, and the COM is come get to the root of the problem and pass and turn it into love and master everything. So it's kind of a fun thing to look at. But if you're really feeling out of sorts, if you can sit down and send love out, it will come back to you and you will feel so much better. So this is just a reminder of how to transmute. You just stick the energy in your hands and like a miniature and invoke, and that's basically it. Invoke for the healing of the situation. And you can do it every single day until the healing happens. You can do it with illness, you can do it with feelings, you can do it with relationships, you can do it for the planet, situations on the planet. It does work. The clarity will come. And then this was working with fear. So just remembering fear attracts. So we want to neutralize the fear. So this is again, acceptance of the old situation, just how it was, not changing it, not anything, just I am acceptance of it. And yep, Steve.
What's the difference between the law of transmutation and the law of change?
Well, transmutation is we're literally working with a situation. The law of change is knowing that who we are never changes, but we're always in the flow of change. Whereas transmutation is definitely working, putting it as a situation in your hands and mastering change. Like this is a creation dimension, the eighth dimension. So we're mastering coming into our self-love and self-worth, mastering allowing the old sludge to just like be gone.
Okay.
And then bringing in those divine qualities, like really focusing on it.
Yeah.
The dissipation. Yeah, dissipation is, connected to the mother's clarity, being that so that the old for sure disappears. And that's why he said sometimes we go through this over and over because we don't think we can do this. But we can. Definitely can. It's believing in yourself that it can be done. But part of the problem is we go through this dimension over and over is we're not anchored in our self-love and self-worth. We're not in balance. We're not in love with the past. Really being in love with the past, with the mother, with the father. Just accepting the past the way it is. Being okay with it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, and just, it's knowing that we are one. So I had a fear of young men in many, many lifetimes, my guides told me. And then that attracted experiences. But I've gotten to the point where we are all one. I've attracted strange experiences with my neighbor. And now we've had such a good conversation. We are one. So it's not being afraid to have the conversations too. Like not just stuffing our feelings down, saying it'll get better, it'll get better. It's facing right into it and talking about it. Yeah, Darren.
Yeah, I found that, in doing the work, it was very important to, accept the situation, but the situation as it happened as a young child, you have to get into that feeling and emotion of that young child. You can't look at it from an adult point of view. You have to look at it from a child point of view to really be effective.
And that's trauma therapy too, because that's what happens. You're guided into it as the child. That's how it works. Yes. So it's really sitting still and using imagination and loving yourself just the way you are, really. And for the courage it takes to be here too. And then things shift. They shift. The sorrow disappears. Everything tends to disappear. So it's like it's listening to the other side and what the guidance is. Okay. So yeah, Jesus said the essence of the Christ energy is to recognize the face of an innocent child behind all negative and disruptive behavior, to see our own innocence. When we can look at our own pain without fear, at ease with our own darkness, not rejecting it, this is when the magic happens. So this is what Albert is talking about, acceptance. There's no fear in acceptance. It just is, and you're looking right at it and loving it, basically. The healing of the wounded child. Okay, yeah, we're renovating the house, the building. That's the acceptance. And then the reconstruction is really, really understanding the qualities so that the old truly disappears. The sludge, you're looking directly at the sludge, so it can disappear. Okay, with clarity, with the mother's clarity. So that's being in the flow of her clarity. It expands us. Oh, and there's our field. So we want the field. This actually cleans the field doing this work. And then of course you can use the white silk cloth too. That's purity. So anytime we're like physically working the field and cleaning it, we're doing the work of transmutation and dissipation. So you can use Gabrielle's golden elixir or the white silk cloth or the all-purpose rainbow salve. They're just metaphors for us using the colors, using the divine qualities, blessings and virtues and the laws to clean everything up. So now this is, okay, so this is the final questions. And this is a caller and she says, hi, I think my life has been meant to be like a sign of how bad your life can get. And yet you can still find your way out of the darkness. And well, if I may say, online hell. So how do I know what to do now that I've mostly gotten out? How do I find my purpose? So, so Raj says, polish the stone. And it is not particularly through the law of transmutation, because this is building the new transmutation. This is acceptance and building that you find your mission and purpose. So what I suggest to you, beloved one, is go back into meditation, into your heart, and to bring forth the law of purpose, the law of intent, to discover your idea in the first dimension, because you are a multi-dimensional person. Okay, so that's a good thing to bring up, actually. So how to invoke the sacred purpose? Humbly and joyfully, in thanksgiving and awe, I invoke the law, going to that place within my heart, formulating the intent that I am living in alignment, in perfect alignment with the universal law of purpose. It is my freedom ticket. It always has been. So there's that divine alignment that we really want to fall into, especially after transmuting some of the old energy. It's good to then invoke your purpose, because it'll be more clear. It's easier to understand when we're in that state of clarity. And then the caller is talking about discovering our idea in the first dimension, and SK says go back and allow that. So that idea in the first dimension, now that you are out of Hell's Gate, to bring forth the truth of who you really are. So once the sludge and the barnacles has been transmuted and dissipated, we have so much more clarity. And he says, now this is not to be done with the sense of it being burdensome. It is to be done with incredible, indescribable laughter, play, celebration. So sit, anchor in your heart, anchor in Gaia, anchor in the 13th octave, and call forth your purpose. Allow it to simply well up within you. It will come. So this is the importance of anchoring with Gaia even before you get out of bed, and being in the heart space. And you can go right up to the 13th octave. It's a beautiful thing. And that brings us right into alignment in the physical form. And she says, thank you. I followed one of the meditations, and the terms that came up were dream keeper and vision keeper, which sound really exciting. How do I figure out what that means? How do I go forward with those ideas in my life? And Raj says they are not ideas. They are truth and information on who you are. So now the dreaming starts. What do you want it to mean? When you are a dreamer and a vision keeper, it means that you hold this not only for yourself, but for the collective. So what is the dream of perfected, ascended humanity? What does the dream, the vision of renewed humanity look like? That's where you start, and enjoy it, and I will help you. She says, thank you, I need the help. And Raj says, dear heart, it is our honor. So this is like, what is the dream of perfected, ascended humanity? What does the dream, the vision of renewed humanity look like? So it's just, whatever you dream it to be, and then we want to just hold it, just, yes, Darren.
I find it interesting that you hold this not just for yourself, but for the collective as well.
Naturally, yes, naturally, because it's a big dream. Peace on Earth, 8 billion people, that's a pretty big dream. But I know that when I do readings, it comes up almost in every reading, that peace on earth. I mean, that's why we're here. Peace on earth, peace within, peace without. And that's what everybody wants. There's not anybody that doesn't want it. No one really wants us to be at war. I have never met anyone that wants us to be at war. No. Yeah. So it's good. It's good to just hold the vision. Hold the vision with the mother's clarity, faith, trust, hope, dissipation, forgiveness of everything, builds the new with the father's balance, transmutation, creation, gratitude, joy for everything, acceptance. The divine feminine rising in everyone for peace. So it's not just a segment, it's all of us with this energy rising to come into the balance with our ability to create. So the transmutation is a big part of it, of the end of the old sludge. And we want to get so that there's equality inside of us. The feminine and the masculine is inside of us in love, like the flames are going around. So the flames are crossing over and going around in the tri-flame in the heart. This isn't quite right. I think I'm gonna have to make the right flame, because it needs to cross over. It doesn't both go around together like that. It crosses, one goes one way and one goes the other way. And then that's the balance inside the heart, the tri-flame in the heart. But it's the masculine and the feminine inside of ourselves facing together in love. So we're not, there's no fight in the mind, because that's what creates the dissonance between the old belief systems. There's still an imbalance there. If both sides of the brain are in love with each other, there's no old belief systems. It's impossible. So there we are, anchoring the laws, anchoring ourselves into that divine alignment, bringing it into our very bones. This is that funny one where I went back and forth. Bring it in, bring it in. Okay, so then David calls in and he says, so Nakamura, is our goal here in duality and separation to unite and unify ourselves back to the oneness from where we have come? And Raj says, yes, but through all the laws. And that is why we go through them one by one, because there are some laws that are more effective to use, but they are always used as a body of codification. But let us, I wish my beloved friend to correct you. You are not in duality and polarity. You do not live there any longer. And if you are in this, there's no duality or polarity when we're like that with the self inside. When the masculine is in love with the feminine inside of ourselves. So it's a good idea to contemplate what you witnessed as a child. Did you witness mom and dad fighting? What did you witness? Because often the wounded child will operate from what we witnessed until we accept it and just accept it for what it was, a learning experience. And then there's no fight in the mind anymore. Okay. So often when I invoke, I actually will invoke the whole system. So if you're working on something, before I go out and do readings for a day, I post the mighty ones everywhere around where I'm going to be. And then I actually invoke the 13th octave, because that's the whole system. The 13 chakras, the 13 blessings and virtues, the 13 universal laws, and the 12 dimensions for the day. And SK says the laws, they are always used as a body of codification, a whole, like it's a whole system basically. And often I don't know exactly which law I should be using, so they said, well, just invoke them all. Yes.
So when you say you invoke the 13th octave, does that include the chakras and blessing and the laws?
Everything. Yes, it does. Like you don't really even need to say it, but I say it because it helps to anchor me in everything.
Okay.
Yeah. And Linda did teach us this way of getting, like there's this, you put your hands together like a bridge, your fingertips and your thumbs. And then you put that over your heart, you put it over your heart chakra. And then you click your tongue, and you're clicking your tongue into your heart, into the higher chakras, and then right up into the 13th octave. And then you click down into Gaia. So that is bringing yourself into this amazing, perfect alignment. And you can do that whenever you're feeling out of alignment. You can set a very quick way to bring yourself in, just clicking your tongue 4 times and bridging your fingers. And I think what it's actually doing is taking you into this. So when you bridge your fingers, there's no fight between the masculine and the feminine. It's neutralizing the mind.
Oh, CP, sweetie, it's okay.
Into love. In the heart. So it's just, yeah, Darren.
I was wondering, what does clicking your tongue do?
I think it just anchors you. It anchors you into divine alignment. So it anchors you into your heart. Then it anchors you up. It anchors you up here into the higher chakras, and then right up into source. It's creating a divine alignment, and then down to Gaia. So it's heart, higher chakras, source, and Gaia. Divine alignment. And it's just reminding yourself that's who we're always connected to source, because we have that silver cord that goes out the top of the head to source. Everyone does. and we have a root cord that we need to remember to anchor into Gaia. So it's divine alignment, and the clicking, it just brings you right into alignment. It's a fun thing to remember and just experiment with. So then Susie says, Raj, it has been a joyful training experience to do these shows. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And he says, you are welcome. It is my joy to be called forth this way to assist in the ascension of humanity. And she says, what are we going to do next? And he says, we will talk about instantaneous transmission. We have talked about renovating a house and reconstruction. Now we will talk about instantaneous transmission. This has more of the effect of the poof rather than the building and reconstruction. So there's the building and renovating a house. There's the reconstruction that he talks about, the dissipation. So the transmutation, the renovating a house, the building, and then the reconstruction. So we have been doing that for quite a while. We've been looking at the sludge and letting it dissipate. Okay. So this is it. There's instantaneous transmission. So we're coming into really amazing, fast divine alignment. That's the next law. The effect of the poof, that's really knowing our self-worth, divine alignment, deeply, deeply, and self-love. And what we've been working on is the renovating, the building, and then reconstruction. So now next law, we're gonna jump right into divine alignment. So, interesting. Okay, and that's that. Let's see. Oh yeah, perfect timing. Okay, are there any questions about what we've learned about this law?
I have a kind of a parallel question to the one I asked earlier. What's the difference between dissipation and elimination?
Elimination is really, really, really deep forgiveness. So dissipation, what they aligned it with clarity here, understanding clarity. And when we work with elimination, it's connected to the third eye. And he actually talks about the spiraling counterclockwise, how it spirals and how you counterclockwise wind it down for it to disappear as well. But it's a deeper understanding of forgiveness and the physics of it. Whereas they didn't go into that in this law. It was just bringing the clarity, open to the mother, open to the mother. Yeah. And her clarity. Yeah. Yes, Darren.
Yeah, so what would be the difference between elimination and transmutation?
Well, transmutation, he gave you a physical exercise to put it into the situation into your hands and master the sludge basically dissolving, right? Whereas, what was the other law that you asked? Elimination?
Elimination, yeah.
Elimination is he talks about the spiraling energy of forgiveness. So he's going into different ways to let go, basically. Deeper and deeper. Because there's layers to these belief systems. So some of these laws are going to work better for you than others. Just depending on who we are, I think. But he wants us to know how they all work. And connecting them to the different dimensions also makes a lot of sense. Because Albert's he gave us the word acceptance. And that was something that I had not really worked with acceptance before, but it made a huge difference. Just accepting the past. Don't try to do anything about it. Just accept it. accept it and allow the qualities to rise up in you, because that's just what happens. When I accept the past, then I naturally have compassion for everyone involved. Yeah. Did you have another question, Darren?
Yeah, well, I'm just gonna say that it makes sense that different laws work better in different dimensions, that's all.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And Ken?
I'm sorry, I forgot what I was going to say.
That's
It's
okay.
been happening to me a lot lately. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. Have you been drinking the coconut water?
We haven't gone yet. We're going to go tomorrow, right?
Yes, dear.
Yeah,
Well, we've been putting it off for 3 or 4 days, so
yeah.
I just want to make sure we do it.
It's
That's all.
not always all my fault.
No, I agree.
Yeah. So I've been experimenting with the coconut water. It helps a lot, or it has with me anyways.
Okay.
I've
How
been
much,
extra busy, and it has given me a lot of energy, and it's helped with my clarity too, like my mind. So yeah,
Even better.
was
how
that
much how much do you drink?
probably a couple glassfuls a day.
Okay.
I put it in my smoothie in the morning, and then I drink it because it supercharges whatever you're eating. So you can have it like with dinner, or you could have it with lunch a little bit. Like, you don't have to go overboard. I always like to go slow when I'm starting something new, because I don't know how it's going to affect me. So just go slow at the beginning.
Mm.
And just sort of monitor yourself. Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm really loving it. I didn't understand about coconut water. I thought it tasted kind of funny before. Like any other time I've tried it. Now I'm like, oh, this is so good. Because I can feel it. Oh, it's supercharging me. Yeah. So yeah. It's good. It's yummy. Okay, so shall we send out some energy out to the planet?
I'm gonna have to excuse myself
Yeah.
early tonight.
Okay, no problem, Steve. Thanks for
Yeah.
coming.
All Monday.
Yeah, see you on Monday. Oh, okay, yeah, let's do our sending. And then
Did you want to do this before we quit the recording, or do you want to do it after?
the sending?
Yeah.
Well, somebody really likes it. Oh, Kathy loves it. She said it helps her a lot when we sit here and we do it.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll set the timer. And I think it's very effective, because we can send it out into the collective. So we're a circle doing it, and we're intentionally doing it. So it's a good thing.
Okay.
It was a great idea. It was Lillian's idea. Excellent idea. Okay, so I've got the
Sometimes I do have good ideas.
oh yeah, great ones. Yeah, you brought us all that information about the I am too, which is combine that with acceptance. Oh my gosh. It works. It's a magical statement.
It's a magical statement with a lot of things.
Yes, it is very much so. We have to thank Saint Germain, because he is the keeper of the I am.
Mhm.
And you're wearing your purple tonight. Somebody in one of the readings asked me about why do I love purple so much? So I went on and on about Saint Germain. You must be one of the armada of healers connected to Saint Germain.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then I could feel Saint Germain. Yeah. So it's always good to understand what purple is. It's
Yep.
also purple is the knowing of everything we're talking about. It's really how things work in the higher realms. Yeah, it's embedded in your crown chakra. Everything that we talk about, you have it sitting up here in the crown. It's just a matter of us remembering how to access this information.
Yep.
And we've got it, it's been channeled, so we're really lucky. Yes, and so then it's just making sense of it so that we understand it. I want to get so that we can just say, oh yeah, the law of transmutation, this is what you do with it, right? Like we just remember right away. It's like, that's when you can stick it in like a miniature in your hands and blow magenta on it and invoke instant transmutation and dissipation for the old to be gone, basically. And for communication to open, if it's a relationship, or for, you know, if it's a situation, that clarity comes in for next steps. Or if it's an old feeling within the self, that we really get how it can dissolve. So me doing the transmutation, the clarity that came was used acceptance, basically.
Was what?
Work with acceptance.
Acceptance. I'm sorry, I'm a little hard of hearing.
Yeah, yeah. Just working with acceptance. Yes, Darren.
Yeah, I think that's why, going over these laws at a slow pace like this helps set them into our consciousness so they will be automatic, when we're done here.
That's the goal. And simple. Like just
Mhm.
remembering, oh, transmutation and dissipation. Oh, I can use that for this situation. And then you use it. Yeah. We're simplifying it so much that we can just remember in the moment. That's the goal. Easier said than done, I have to say, because I should be doing it every reading, and I'm not really yet. Anyways, one day soon. Okay, I'm gonna set the timer. There we go. There we go. Mhm. Okay. Well, that is the end of this law. This chakra.
I have a question.
Yes.
That statement, I am acceptance,
Mhm.
is that inclusive of the statement, I accept everyone
Mhm. Mhm. That
for
the
who they are?
what's that? When?
I accept everyone for who they are.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would do I am acceptance of everyone as who they are, because then you're using I am.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. So it goes back, it goes to everything, to everyone on the planet. And then everyone can remember their divinity.
Okay.
Mhm. Yep.
That would be everything as well as everyone, right?
Yep. Yep. Mhm.
I
Everything.
mean, I'm thinking of things like storms and stuff like that. I mean, we have to accept everything, right?
Mhm. Mhm. Yep. So then we're not worried. We're not in any kind of anxiety, because anxiety makes more anxiety.
No.
Fear makes more fear.
Yep.
We're just kind of neutral. It's very peaceful saying I am acceptance. It's so easy to drive. Like you're super aware when you're driving, because when I'm driving home, it's wild because there's so much traffic and there's
Mhm.
speeding, there's many. I haven't counted all the lights that I go through that I stop and start. So you can get kind of into this anxiety. But when you're saying I am acceptance, it's total peace. Amazing.
Yeah, and probably flow easier too. You probably don't, or you're not irritated by the lights for sure. You maybe don't even hit as many lights.
You don't. You just sail through. It's like the traffic opens up. It's
Well,
the most interesting thing. So when you're driving next, Lillian, go anchor into I am acceptance. Yeah,
I'm going to.
yeah. It flows. Everything flows. Yeah, it's really magical. I've never worked with acceptance before. I didn't even know what it was.
Well, it's like everything. Maybe we weren't just quite ready for it yet.
Yeah. Now we're
Yeah.
ready because we've done a lot of other work. You're not forcing yourself to be anything. You're not forcing yourself to be grateful for anyone. You're not forcing yourself to forgive anyone. You just are. Like you are, just naturally are everything. It's the most,
That's probably our natural state, right?
yeah, yes, exactly. Yeah, it really is something. I love it. I'm so excited about it.
Yeah. We
Because
just, sorry, we just have to learn how to be in that all the time then.
yeah, like I had a girl, my last reading was this girl, and she said, I cannot forgive anybody. I just cannot do it. I have tried. And there's extreme trauma underneath it, was sexual trauma. So then I started talking about acceptance. And she says, well, I can do that. I'm like, because what you might notice is, or what I've noticed is, it changes. When you have a mantra, it naturally changes as you're ready. So
Mhm.
let it change. Like if it starts changing, go with it, flow with it. You don't have to stay with acceptance. Let it morph into whatever it needs to morph into.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It'll probably go into forgiveness at some point.
I agree.
Right.
And that's pretty much what I said to her. Just let it happen as it happens. Don't force it. Yeah. So it's a good one. I can't believe I didn't understand that before, but I wouldn't have. It was just listening to Albert that time. And Albert is Saint Germain. So I mean, they're all like, it's all intertwined.
And they're sitting up there laughing themselves silly.
Yeah.
They
How
probably
did
are.
she ever get that?
Yeah, I bet they are too.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think they're just really excited that we're no, it's like they're not they're laughing. Yeah, they're doing something. It's really funny energy. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, they're probably laughing at us because they did exactly the same thing when they were here. So they're really laughing at the situation, not us particularly.
Yeah,
Probably, yeah.
yeah, yeah, especially Saint Germain, because he's the one that he ascended in Atlantis. So, and then he came back and he was able to live for many, like hundreds of years.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's got a great story. If you ever, it's on, I think it's on Golden Age of Gaia. You can look it up.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think a lot of the masters ascended in Atlantis, like all the high ones, like, well, Saint Germain and Yeshua and all the great ones.
Hmm. Yeah. Kutumi, Maitreya.
Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah. El Moria. Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
Serapis Bay. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. And then you know what's interesting? There's not really any female ascended masters. They're mostly
Well, there are some, you just don't hear them very much because again, they've been suppressed, like the female energies. There are some, but you don't hear them, that's all.
Mhm. Mhm.
They're there.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah.
We're here. We're here.
I mean, you look at Mother Mary or Mary Magdalene and some of those,
Yeah, well, the mother, I mean, she's already everything.
yeah.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. But the other thing I was thinking, because there's only one female archangel, Gabriel, right now, like the major ones that we know of, Michael and Raphael and Uriel and Yophael and Gabrielle. And Gabrielle was asked to be feminine by the mother because she's very masculine in the Bible. But I was thinking it's the men that the women have been more put upon than the like the men have kind of been the abusers, so they need that reflection of a male in alignment is what I'm thinking, because the women have been kind of the inequality with the women, it's been more the push down of the feminine than
Yeah, right.
masculine. So then the masculine needs a really strong symbol and metaphor of divine alignment.
Yeah.
That because I could never figure out, why are there so many male archangels? Well, how come there's only one? Well, there's more than one, but of the five mighty ones that the Council of Love talks about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Another one is Kuan Yin.
Mhm.
She's a female ascended master.
She's like a mother energy. Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Kuan Yin.
I think there are a lot more
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
archangels.
I've heard
We
of
just,
Yeah,
we just
many more. Yeah,
yeah, lots of archangels, but it's interesting that the ones that the Council of Love talks about, those five, four of them are masculine.
all right.
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm. But then we all need a good symbol of the masculine in alignment, all of us, to
mhm,
for the inner work. Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
That's the only thing I could figure out, because why wouldn't wouldn't they have equal number?
Well, there's got to be a good reason for sure.
Yeah.
You know what made me think of something is I was thinking of the apostles.
Mostly men, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, but there were women apostles too.
There
Oh,
were supposedly 12 women apostles as well.
oh, I didn't even know that.
yeah,
And how many men?
12
well,
men
Oh.
apostles.
Oh, didn't know that.
Oh,
Are they anywhere written up?
apostles?
The
For
women.
the women?
Female apostles.
They probably were, but they were written out of the Bible, I'm sure.
yeah.
Mhm.
One of the books that were
Probably.
taken out, I'm sure.
Mhm.
Who
or
knows?
one of
They-
several books that were taken out.
Oh, yes, many, many books were, many things were taken out of the Bible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roscoe, leave your brother alone. Sorry.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm gonna stop the recording. So I'm just gonna say, good night, everybody.
No,
That
as
was
you
great.
yelled,
Huh?
as you yelled.
Yeah, no, that was good. That was a fitting ending for this law. So we're ending on a high note, but just hang on. I just want to stop the recording.